Good morning guys, welcome to Stef ABtv. Welcome to a day here at Porsche GB in Reading where we're collecting this, the Porsche 718 Cayman GT4. Okay, first startup of the 718 Cayman GT4. Oh yes! Managed to get the car some more local familiar roads. However, the sun hasn't hit these roads yet. It's still very cold outside and it's still very slippery, so we do need to be careful, but there's a national speed here, so let's enjoy. Serious. Wow, that noise from the flat six, guys, is just superb, superb. Yes, it may not be as loud as the 981 GT4, however, having it this quiet allows Porsche to keep making the GT4. From this 4-litre flat six, 0 to 62 miles per hour in just 4.2 seconds and 0 to 100 miles per hour in 9 seconds. That's pretty good going from this 414 bhp flat six. The most though about this car is the front end and the nose and just how well this thing turns in. Jeez, what an incredible handling feeling. It really does. It's just such a nice point and shoot, and you'd expect that from the GT4, and the reason being is it's got the suspension components of the GT3. That's right, the Cayman GT4 effectively is a little bit of a Frankenstein parts bin special of GT3 and Cayman platform. The other beautiful thing about this car is that it is a true mid-engine sports car. Not only does that mean I get to hear how good the sound of this engine is behind me, but it also means that the balance on this car is just superb. Of course, we get the e-pass steering system, but the steering on it is absolutely spot on, guys, genuinely spot on. Very Giulio Quadrifoglio-like in the form of how direct it is. In fact, arguably, they're very, very similar, and I'm struggling to really actually tell you which one's better in the form of steering, and that's saying something, because the Giulio Quadrifoglio steering, for me, is probably one of the best steerings out on the market. I really like this car. Now, it won't come as a surprise to you that this specific car has a 4-litre engine, and it is effectively the 3.8 Carrera S engine. However, the GT department at Porsche have got their hands on it and they bought it out to a 4-litre. Now, it also won't come as a surprise that this model does a Nürburgring lap time of, I believe, 7 minutes and 28 seconds, which is rapid. That's a full 12 seconds faster than the old 981 one. That is evolution right there, isn't it? Also, in terms of how the car looks from an aesthetic standpoint, we get a much longer front splitter on this car. Wow! A much longer front splitter on this car to couple with the rear wing to give you that balance of aero. And yeah, I'm kind of speechless, guys. Genuinely. Yeah, it's whilst I am getting some heat into the Michelin Cup 2 tyres, wet and cold conditions are not ideal. But to give this car credit, we are hooning it a little bit, and it is doing a very good job at being compliant and keeping itself as close as possible in terms of traction as it can do with the kind of weather circumstances. Genuinely, listen to that. Power delivery is very progressive in this thing, as you'd expect from a naturally aspirated flat 6. But the way that it delivers, particularly in second gear, especially as these gears are so long, actually, you always tend to find that you're in the right gear most of the time. The only times where I think that this manual gearbox lets you down just a touch is when you're, for example, maybe approaching a bit of a hairpin where you're not sure whether you should be in first or second. And if you approach a hairpin or a corner and you're not in first gear and you're doing, you know, say 25 miles per hour, when you do punch it foot to floor, as I'll demonstrate now, you do have that element of waiting time until you get all the power. As we can see, second gear, foot to floor, wait, there it is. And there's all that power. But I'm not taking anything away from this car. It is stunning. And I absolutely love it. And I'm now concerned that I want one. I think when it comes to driving purity, the Cayman GT4 has got to be up there with one of the best cars. And I know there's a lot of great cars that Porsche do. I know the GT3 is probably the pinnacle, GT3 RS, but this specific car, the 718 Cayman GT4, other than its slight lack of sound, in terms of drivability, in terms of excitement, thrill, performance, it's got it all, man. It's got it all, and it doesn't need to be the quickest thing in the world. And I think that's why this is so bang on. The way this thing feels around the corners with the GT3 setup is just unbelievable. The noise of the engine is incredible. Yes, we've got the OPF, PPF filter on there, but I'm sure there's some people out there who can help make the car sound better. But in terms of a platform, what a car. And then you get to its looks. But it just looks spectacular with the stunning satin black wheels, the long front nose, the massive spoiler at the back. I love this car. The other thing that's new for the 718 GT4 is these kind of wind curtains, and they're real as well, because what this does is it will suck air through here, it will channel it out through there. It helps with the aero and it allows for the aero to run alongside the car. Also, the 20-inch wheels look stunning, and with the Porsche ceramic brakes, as I said earlier on, I can confirm they stop you very, very well. And then you get to the rear of the car, where I think arguably this is where the majority of the changes have happened from the 981 generation. You can see we've got the new tail lights on this, which are kind of more darker effect, which look really nice and contrast well against the yellow. You've also got the new rear diffuser with dual exit exhaust. Now, arguably the center exit exhaust on the 981, whilst you might only have one exhaust, it sounded a lot better, but then 981 wasn't victim to OPF and EU regulations, although these do look very cool. And finally, to couple with the front aero, you get mass aero on the rear to give you increased downforce. Again, you still had a spoiler on the 981, but this is ever so slightly different. Oh. Still got to figure it out. I still need to figure out how to gracefully get into this 718 GT4. But then you take a look at the interior of this car, and this is where I think Porsche have really nailed it. Now, obviously, the spec on this car is pretty phenomenal. This car has got
the 918 bucket seats. They are very, very good in terms of bolstering. I mean, they are literally race seats. However, they're a little bit more challenging to get in and out of, and also they're probably not as comfortable as the standard seat. So it depends on what you want as to which seats you should go for. Now, without a shadow of a doubt, these look better, but it's a case of whether you're going to use the car more regularly or if this is just a track toy. And speaking of hardcore, you can just see behind me the kind of Club Sport roll cage. It isn't very rattly at all, actually. It just goes to show you the kind of Porsche build quality. Sometimes in cars which have roll cages, it does mean that they rattle quite a lot, but no. And as you can see, that's the rear view mirror view, effectively. A massive roll cage and a spoiler. Of course, we get the beautiful manual gearbox on this. We've got a 6-speed manual with a clutch that feels very, very nice. It's a little heavy. The pedal placement on this car is absolutely superb. They're very close together, perfect for heel and toe. The throw on the manual gearbox is great as well. It's a very short throw, as you can kind of see. There's not much movement in it, and just the position of it is phenomenal. Other than the gears being a little long, just the experience of driving a manual, that kind of short, stubby gear stick here is absolutely stunning. I mean, other things that we get on this, we get the Sports Chrono package. We've got so much carbon fiber here as well. Interestingly as well, in the old car, this auto blip button used to be called Sport. And what this effectively is, this allows you to, I guess, when you don't want to heel and toe and you're a bit lazy, or if you just don't know how to heel and toe, this specific button will just effectively enable the car to do it for you. And I can guarantee you it'll probably do a much better job than you do, but it's more fun when you do it yourself. Porsche very good at hiding their cup holders, aren't they? And one of the things that I do like about it is you can see that you've got these kind of really nice cup holders which fit nicely in there. They're not too kind of intrusive. They don't really just stand out. They're not massive holes in here. They look lovely. We've got an absolutely stunning leather dash here, as well as the updated infotainment, which means that we get things like Apple CarPlay. And whilst this car is pretty much all about driving and it's a driver's car, the fact that you've got things like CarPlay for your Google Maps, Waze, Spotify, it just makes for a really nice addition. I was probably a little scared to drive that Porsche Cayman GT4, to be honest, because I had such high expectations of it being as good as I thought it would be, that I was worried that when I actually drove it, I would feel differently. I can confirm that I absolutely love that car, and for the short period of time that I have driven it, I can eventually see me owning one day. It's just a phenomenal platform, and this dog just go away. It's a phenomenal platform, and I've got to thank Porsche UK, Porsche GB, for allowing me the opportunity to drive effectively one of my dream cars. Anyway, I'm going to play with this guy here. I'm going to chill. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Make sure to like the video if you haven't done already. Subscribe, and I'll see you all very soon on the next one. See you later, guys. Bye bye.